Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I'll be presenting GPT OSS. So yes guys, let's get started with it. Let's just go through some quick pointers which would really help you understand it better. So guys, first of all, GPT OSS comes in two variants, 120B and 20 billion parameter model. So one is a relatively small model and another one is a relatively bigger model. So guys, before we get started on further points, let's just try to uh, understand and evaluate few things. One is that I see a lot of people are misusing and using it for the wrong use case. This is guys a reasoning model in first place. So guys, what happens in a reasoning model is that it might not be the best model for chat purpose or let's say retrieval purpose for that matter. So it's a reasoning model, right? So what it really does well is one, it gives you the chain of thought. So whenever you're trying to build an reasoning application, you would want the model to show the chain of thought, and that's how it's trained as well. We'll see the pre-training and post-training phase as well, but the main idea is that it shows you chain of thought. It's very good at tool calling. So lately guys, what happened is we realized that there are few bottlenecks in general pre-training, and if we want to make a model that's very economically valuable, if you want to make a model that's economically valuable, you would want the model to be good at tool calling. So this model is really good at tool calling. Then guys, the third aspect is instruction following. So guys, sometimes what happens is you would want the model to just follow your instruction. It's good at that as well. So guys, whenever you're trying to build an application where you know that your application is going to have a lot of tool calling in between, you would have a lot of instruction following, and you need to have some sort of reasoning layer in between, right? It's not necessarily false to say that even general models which don't have chain of thought, for example, uh, chat GPT 4.0, right? It's a general purpose model. It doesn't have a chain of thought, but it doesn't mean that it cannot reason. But sometimes guys, whenever you're doing a harder problem, so whenever we are doing a harder problem, what happens in chain of thought is, right, the model tries to break down the entire task into subtasks. Okay, now there's a task, it's been broken into subtasks, and then individually it tries to achieve all the subtasks, and oftentimes, right, results of one subtask pass on to the another, and so on it happens. But primarily guys, chain of thought is extremely important. If you would carefully evaluate chain of thought, you could exactly see what are the things the model is able to do and what are the things it is not able to do. And second of all guys, even from a safety evaluation point of view, chain of thought is extremely valuable. Because guys, in case what happens is, we've seen sometimes the model tries to deceive people, right? So it's saying something, but that is, if you would read in the chain of thought, it would say something like, the user is asking me to do that, but I can't do it, but I need to fulfill a goal. So it will fake an output, right? So all these things are there. So chain of thought is a very new and emerging area. There's a lot of research that still needs to be done on this front, chain of thought. But for a developer point of view, the main idea is that model is going to reason before giving you an answer. That reasoning trace is available to you. You can just put it into your application and try to formulate your entire product. But guys, again, a note is that if you're not doing just chat or retrieval kind of a use case, please follow traditional models. This model might not be able to give you the best results. Now, chain of thought is very important, guys. We'll see when we'll use the model that how can we see the chain of thought and stuff. And even instruction following is a key argument, that whenever you want your system to navigate a bunch of processes and stuff, which you need to define in your prompt. Also guys, as it's a reasoning model in two variants, the way you write prompt is also slightly different, so we'll see that as well. But mainly thing is guys, this is available in 20 billion and 120 billion parameter model, so yes, you can use it. According to OpenAI, the performance is very comparable to O3 mini and O4 mini. But guys, oftentimes this oftentimes doesn't hold true, because like these models have a bunch of other capabilities as well. So for now, an important aspect is that this is a text only, okay, and it's very heavily like trained or post trained in a way that it's good in STEM use cases and tool calling and like basic general knowledge. So it's not that you use this model to sort of, let's say, do a translation kind of a thing. All these things will not yield great results, since the model is a little leaning towards instruction following, tool calling, and chain of thought, so that it makes it a perfect reasoning model to say, not a direct chat model. So let's just try to evaluate the other aspects which we have, guys. So yes, the other aspect is that it's available under Apache 2.0 license, so you can use it. And guys, these models have been trained with RL, for sure you would know that, and we'll see it in the model card as well. And yeah, it's fine that the 120 billion parameter model can effectively run on an 80 GB GPU. So we'll try to run the 20 billion parameter model, not the 100 and 20 billion one. But yeah, so guys, the next thing is both models perform strongly on tool use, few shot function calling, chain of thought reasoning. I've discussed all these things in depth because guys, this is very important point. So guys, the next important point is that we need to discuss a bit is that's about health bench. So guys, what usually happens is that a lot of queries, okay, which people do on chat GPT, like if you would evaluate the top 5% users, you would find a lot of the queries are related to health related stuff. So guys, lately OpenAI has been on a mission to improve their models in terms of health related tasks. That means general medical reasoning, and GPT OSS is good at it, guys. And even the 5 model that's just released is also good in health bench. I think they lead the health bench with this model, so you could use it for any sort of medical application that you want to build. And guys, yeah, that's a primarily the introduction of this GPT OS. It's just good model to use, a great model to fine tune. And yeah, it's a little difficult to find the right balance between when to chat and when to reason. So yeah, that's something you need to evaluate, but we are good till there. Now let's just try to see the other aspects of it, guys. So guys, these are text only models. I have told you what this thing. And next thing is they are auto-regressive mixture of experts, and they are built on GPT-2 and GPT-3 architecture. So let's just talk about it a bit, guys, that where are we in terms of model development these days. So guys, what usually used to happen is that models used to follow transformers. Now guys, multiple companies had multiple variations of transformers. A lot of companies primarily did decoder based transformer architecture. So what usually used to happen, that it used to predict one token at a time. So it used to work in a left to right kind of a way, that whatever context you have, you can pass it and it predicts one token at a time with a certain probability distribution. And yeah, that's how it used to work. But now guys, transformers are lately been I think transformers are still like the heart of whatever current systems you see, but lately people have been using a lot of MOE, that's mixture of experts. So even GPT OS is a mixture of experts. So what happens in like mixture of experts is, guys, some people like the idea of mixture of expert is that OpenAI itself can train one model on GK, one model on coding, one model on chatting, one model on math, one model on physics, and then based on it, we sort of have a router in between which would route to the correct set of neural network, and that set of neural networks, like the parameters will be activated. But guys, this explanation is wrong. This doesn't happen in mixture of experts. What usually happens in mixture of expert is that the router itself learns. That means, guys, there is no such way that we train one neural network for coding. We train the model architecture itself, the router itself learns that based on the user input, which subsection of the neural network should get activated, and based on that your downstream analysis will work out. So guys, this is resulting in great models. And also the point is that, let's say you have a 120 billion parameter model, but it's not that at runtime you'll be consuming all. You would be probably consuming a subset of this parameters based on your query. Now guys, what usually happens with MOE is that MOEs are a little tricky to train. So even if you see what happened with Llama 4, it's not out till yet as well, but the point here is, the primarily point was that they also went on and trained a mixture of expert models. So what happened out there is that even their router was not able to route queries properly to a particular set of neural network, and because of that it was routing again and again to a same set of subset of parameters. It wasn't having great performance. So right now GPT-5 is out, and even the same sort of issues are coming in the routing layer of GPT-5 as well, that it's not able to sufficiently route when to reason and when to just give one-off response. Okay, this is a little tricky, because usually I have also experience of building, obviously these are dynamic routers, but a lot of us try to build manual routers that based on workload and other kind of things we sort of route it to different models. But guys, sometimes this really adds on to the complexity in the application, and we sort of mess it up to the core. So the point is that training routers is not easy. It's a little tricky, because sometimes guys, specifically in chatting kind of an interfaces, right, where you have to fetch like 10-12 questions which user has asked, and based on 13th question you need to take a call that should I route this question to a reasoning model or to a general chat model. That's not as simple as it seems. But yeah, those were guys few points on the introduction of GPT OSS. Let's just try to move ahead. The next thing is guys, harmony chat format. Now guys, this is something you need to understand a bit little more carefully, because we would be seeing this more often being used now, because we are going to be consuming a lot of reasoning models, and reasoning models tend to behave a particular way. So yeah, let's just try to see. So guys, reasoning models tend to behave in a particular way, because the idea is that you need to specify that what needs to be the reasoning effort out there. So what usually happens is guys, that you can specify that what needs to be the reasoning effort in the system message. So let me try to go in there and try to mention. So there are few things guys. One is system message, one is developer message, one is user message, one is assistant message, and fifth one is tool. So yeah, we'll just try to spend some time and understand this aspect a little better, so that we can just know how to evaluate and use reasoning models better. So there is something known as system, developer, user, assistant, and tool. So okay, system message is used to specify that what needs to be the reasoning amount that the model needs to do. So you can specify low, you can specify medium, and you can specify high. So this is the same way guys, this is primarily the same way you will be consuming a GPT-5 model as well, where in your system message you can just specify reasoning. You can just write like this: reasoning semicolon low. That means the model will tend to like don't reason a lot, so that your inference will be faster, and you could even use a reasoning model as a chat model. Now guys, what is developer message? So developer message is guys the place where we define the prompt, right? Essentially this is used to be called as system message, but for now just consider system message to be more like what needs to be a reasoning effort, and developer message is like what are the instructions, what is the behavior, what is the personality, what are the tools, how to call them, when to call them, what are the other considerations, like the big prompt which all of us have in our application. The user is something that's easy, whatever user is putting in, and then guys the assistant part is the response which you get, and tool is guys simply the tool call that's available out there. So guys, this much is primarily enough to understand the basics of GPT OS. Let's just try to maybe spend some time in order to go through the model card a bit and see that are we missing on anything or we are good. So let's just try to see the model card. Yeah, so guys, this is the model card which is available out there. So guys, this is an important read. You guys can go through it and read it completely. It's going to help you really understand that how the model was trained and built. But yeah, the prime focus out there is more like how it needs to be used. But this is important guys, because you would understand what goes into building a model from some parts. So I'll be talking about few things. So guys, the first thing is quantization. So guys, what happens is usually in a neural network, we need to apply a lot of quantization. So let's just try to see that they have the first section they have defined in the model card is quantization. So why do you think guys this is such an important thing that the model card starts with quantization? So guys, what usually happens is that your memory consumption is primarily dependent on like what is the amount of depth you want to go into that weight parameter. So I think I'll clarify one thing over here. Let's just try to see the research paper again guys. So yeah, it's fine, it's 4.25 bits per parameter. So I just wanted to see this number again, that what is the number of bits. So guys, what happens is the more bits you have, the more precision you will have. Again, your inference would be slower, and the most important part is that your memory consumption would be high. So if you are not quantizing your model, right, so they have created their quantization where let's say they have ensured that the model is like 4.25 bits per parameter. So let's say they have created parameter, so that's their 4.25 bits. So let's say you're using float 32, right? It's extremely popular like data type, and it's used a lot in neural networks. Lately it's not used due to these reasons, but the point is that this would be primarily 32 bytes per parameter. So you're able to see that almost there's a gap of approximately I'm not sure about 6x, 6 to 8x gap is there. So you're able to see that if the weight parameter is like 32 bits per parameter, it would consume a lot of memory. Now what is the problem if it consumes a lot of memory? So guys, if you're like, if OpenAI is like building their state of the art model, they would go with 32 bits per weight parameter. They don't have any issue. But when you are making an open source model guys, you would want normal people to use it, right? You would want consumers to use it who have very consumer like hardware and a single GPU maybe. So that's the main game guys. That's how quantization helps them to reduce the number of bytes per weight parameter. That directly results in a little lower precision, but your inference becomes faster and your memory consumption is like brought down drastically. So what usually happens is that let's say you're using just 4 bits, okay, so if you just use 4 bits instead of the entire like the float 32 bit, you would be seeing clearly like a 40 to 60% VRAM reduction in your GPU usage if you have worked with open source models. But that's the piece guys. They are using some like this time they are using, I'll tell you which quantization they are using. So let's just try to see guys which quantization they are using. Okay, let's just try to see which quantization they are using. Yes guys, they are using MX floating point 4. So that's the quantization they are using, but you get the main idea, right? So we have talked about mixture of experts guys. So attention is primarily the heart of transformers, and now attention has changed a lot, so they must be using some modern way of doing attention. So which attention guys they are using? they are using, guys, grouped query attention they are using, guys, so you can read about it. So initially people use self attention, flash attention, they are using grouped query attention. And also, guys, they are trying to increase the context length up to a certain limit using yarn. So guys, these are few techniques which if you are into core AI research you should know, but yeah, for now you can just skim to it. Now guys, this is again very important. I want to make sure we read this. We train the models on a text only dataset with trillions of tokens with a focus on STEM coding in general knowledge. So guys, this is primarily the use of it, and the best part is that this model will help you enable tool calling in a very nice way. So I've talked about Harmony chat format as well, and yes, we have talked about agentic tool use as well, and rest of the paper mainly talks about essentially the evaluations and stuff. So yeah, that's pretty much good that the model scores this much on this benchmark that we could probably skip. And as I said that there are three reasoning modes: low, medium and high. You can specify whichever you want to use based on your system message. Now guys, all this was a theoretical introduction to GPT OSS. Now how can we use it and how can we effectively run it? Now that's the main ask of the second portion of the lecture. So guys, I'll be using RunPod to show you how to set up Ollama in RunPod and then how to consume the model. So let's just try to go to RunPod. So guys, RunPod is a provider that provides you GPU on the fly. That means at an hourly rate you can get GPU. So if you have like GPU in your personal machine, you can directly run it from there. You just need to install Ollama. I'll show you that as well. But right now I don't have GPU in the machine I'm recording video, so I'll be using RunPod for that matter. So guys, I would deploy a GPU. So let's just say I'm using an RTX 5090. Okay, 5090 or a 4090 should also be fine. This has a 22 GB VRAM. The 20 billion parameter model can fit into 16 GB of VRAM, so that's fine. So let's just try to deploy it, guys. So guys, at an hourly level this would be charging me $0.69. so yeah, that's fine. That's not too much because mostly after the lecture I'll delete it. So guys, it has some error, like it's saying error starting container. So guys, sometimes what happens is you get these sort of errors while starting up these containers. So what you can do is you can see is it working. So guys, there are some issues right now with this system. So let's just try to stop the pod and let's just try to terminate it on. So guys, I think sometimes these GPU providers also have some issues, but it's fine. We can use maybe 5090. It's expensive, but for the time being we might need to use this only so that we can continue with the lecture forward. So guys, 5090 is a really good GPU. It's like the top grade consumer GPU out there. So is it deployed successfully? Yes guys. So the first thing is we can open Jupyter Notebook and we can essentially get started with opening the terminal as well. So guys, first thing is this is similar to what is your machine, right? In simple terms, you can consider as this as your machine. Now I am in a simple Linux terminal. So you are able to see how quickly I am able to set this up. Yes guys, sometimes some GPU is available, sometimes it's not available. GPU seems to be extremely important currency in terms of AI workload. So yeah, you would have these type of issues, and the inference workloads are, guys, increasing daily. So this is quite natural to happen. Now guys, what we need to do is we need to first of all install Ollama. Okay, this is a simple command that you can use and install Ollama into your machine, into your Linux machine. Otherwise guys, you can simply download from the Ollama website if you are using a Windows machine. It won't really matter guys, but yeah, it's important that we do complete hands-on by downloading stuff as well and actually using it to the core to understand how to use it, and later on you can build any sort of application stack you want to use. So guys, there are few errors, few warnings, which is extremely normal in an containerized environment. Don't worry about those things. So guys, let's just try to install few other additional system dependencies as well. In most of your environments all this would be already installed, but guys, RunPod is like a pretty fresh machine only. So guys, it's saying sudo apt update, this command is not found. That's fine guys, let me try to open my uh, notebook only and try to see that which is the command that I need to use. So guys, let's just try to use this command. Okay, so this is not working as expected. Let's just try to use this command. Guys, sometimes these type of system updates issue happen and these are very common guys. So you are able to see guys, I'm able to install some dependencies as well which are required for Ollama to run smoothly. Mostly in your Linux, if you have a GPU installed and you've used any model or PyTorch previously, all this would be there. But as I said, RunPod is more like a fresh ground and you might need to do a bunch of installations. But guys, all this is extremely easy, not very difficult at all. So we are there guys, it's done. Now guys, the next thing is that you need to know is that the next command we'll be using is clear, just to clear the screen guys. Let's just try to clear the screen once. Clear. So yeah, now you're back at it guys. So we have installed Ollama, we have installed few additional dependencies as well. Now the next thing that we need to do is guys, we need to do Ollama serve. So guys, what is happening is that Ollama has started and yeah, we are good. Now let's just try to copy this and let's just try to paste it over here. So I'm opening one more instance of the terminal. I have started Ollama out there. The next thing that we need to do is guys, we need to pull the model. So guys, you can simply pull the model which you want. So this is the command for that. Ollama pull GPT OSS 20 billion parameter model. Okay, so it's saying that this is not found. So let's just try to not use the exclamation mark. So guys, you are able to see that it's like 13 GB of model assets that would get downloaded. So yeah, this is fine guys, you can use it according to your need and your use case. But yeah, this is an important command which you need to do so that your model gets downloaded. And you're able to see guys, this is extremely quick as well. If you do all these things in your machine, it might be slow, but you can for 1-2 hours rent a GPU at about $1 to $2 and just get your job done for a learning purpose. If you want to fine tune, then guys just try to pick the perfect monetization or look at inference providers like Unsloth. They just like do a lot of inference based fine tuning and alignment at the model layer, so that it could even run on consumer grade GPUs. Now guys, what is the next thing that we need to do is we need to run the model. So let's just try to run the model. Now guys, this is how you have you can use it. You just need to run the model now. So guys, you are able to see we have set up GPT OSS from Ollama. I think Ollama is the great provider to use it. So let's just try to see guys, let's just ask it, can AI replace humans? So guys, you're able to see, you'll be able to see streaming of tokens and you're able to see this thinking. The user asks a can AI replace humans? So this is like the chain of thought guys, and then this is the complete answer. So are you able to see guys how nice and how easy it is to set up essentially Ollama, and you just use GPT OSS. So if you have any sort of questioning or reasoning that you need to do, you want to study and research more about chain of thought, you could play around with the model directly in your terminal. Now guys, this is pretty much done. We have seen how to consume the model from terminal, but terminal based testing is usually not done. All of us like Python. So yeah, let's just try to go to this GitHub repo guys. I have created a notebook for you. You can just download the raw file. Okay guys, now once you have downloaded it, let's just try to import this over here. So we have guys imported it. Let's just try to see. So guys, the first thing is, let's just try to install OpenAI. Now guys, if you have worked with OpenAI, right? So if you have worked with OpenAI, the Python package, you know it is sort of two things now. It is chat completions which would get depreciated, and most of the workloads are migrating towards responses. So right now Ollama doesn't support responses thing, but for now you can use chat completions, and mostly in future Ollama would for sure support responses as well. Now guys, what is the case over here? You need to write from OpenAI, import OpenAI. You need to set up your client. So this is 11434 is the port number at which your Ollama instance is running. This is very important, and API key for all of us, it's Ollama only. Now guys, what it's saying that you have to set up your client and you have to specify the model name and the message. Now what the message over here is guys, that you are a helpful assistant which gives short and crisp answer, and I have specified guys, see, reasoning is equal to low. So guys, this is an important thing, a very important thing whenever you are dealing with reasoning models, that in the system message only you can specify what is your reasoning effort required, so that it's not that the model overthinks and gives a, like, even for high it takes 2 minutes to respond high. So you don't want the chain of thought to be bloated. It's simple, just try to mention reasoning effort is equal to low. Now guys, the question is, explain, can AI take over the humanity? So let's just try to run it guys. So you're able to see guys, you got a response that can AI take over the humanity, and you were able to see how simple it is to set up using Ollama, how you can pull the model, run the model, and then consume it via the chat completions API, and then everything whatever chat completions API does, you can directly use it over here. Now guys, this is an important thing from a developer ecosystem, that you don't need to necessarily do a bunch of like, whenever you have these raw model weights, right? If you want to deploy the model in your setting, it's a little tricky, but here you are able to see you can directly consume it using the chat completions API. And guys, the best part is it will support responses API in future as well, so you don't need to worry about it. Now guys, we are using a reasoning model. So as I said, there's a lot of focus, and in my channel also I'll be also focusing a lot on chain of thought. So guys, chain of thought is a very important topic, strictly not because a model is thinking, planning it out, taking multiple options, trying to aggregate at the end, all that is fine. But guys, chain of thought is the way that model is telling us that why it is giving us something. Right now there's no other option for us to evaluate what is going inside the model. So if you understand chain of thought well, you can really align your application, like align the model to your application. So let's just try to see guys how to see this chain of thought. So guys, see, first of all, the same code is there, you can set up the client. So guys, this is a function that I have created, chat with stats. So this is the start time guys, that at what time the request is started. Then the next thing is guys, we are just trying to specify that, okay, what is the model and what is the message that user is seeing. This is the end time and this is the response time. So guys, all this is just to compute the number of time, although this is not a great metric, so you can skip it. The next thing is guys, responses dot usage and the content piece, which I shown you the last time. But guys, this part now I have to show you that this is the code, like this is the code. If you will see, get attribute, so from message we want the reasoning attribute, and if reasoning is available, we need to show the reasoning as well. So let's just try to run it. Why guys this is so important, that if you will extract the attribute reasoning from message, you will be able to see the reasoning chain of thought. The question is same, can AI take over the world? We need to answer, can AI take over the world, and reasoning effort is low. So the answer, so you're able to see guys, this is the reasoning the model is showing, and then this is the answer. This is very important guys. If you are able to study this, the chain of thought, right, you can really understand a lot of things about the model. You can even understand the intentions of model, and a lot of research is also being done on the interpretability part to understand this reasoning. Everything is very simple guys. Dot content will help us extract the reasoning, the content, the final answer, and dot reasoning is going to help us extract the chain of thought. Now that's extremely simple. Now guys, the last portion that I'll be discussing today is function calling with GPT OSS. So guys, so there is something not right with this. So yeah, let's just try to see that whether we had this thing over here issue as well. So function calling here is mentioned, but yeah, in that notebook it is not visible. Let's just try to copy this code and let's just try to understand that how you can do function calling with the help of GPT OSS. So guys, this looks like a big code, but this is extremely simple, and once you just master you have this snippet of code, you can directly use it for your use case. So let's just try to create a cell maybe. Okay, it's there guys, it's there. So first of all, let me go to the iPad and talk a bit more about this use case that's out there. So guys, function calling. Now, as I said guys, this is a reasoning model, but it's extremely good at tool calling. So whatever application you are making, if you want the function to call a set of tools, that means a set of like a simple Python function. So tools are nothing guys, these are simple Python functions. So for sure guys, like the GPT OSS model doesn't have like its cutoff training date must be like somewhere June 2024. Now, if you would give your model or ask that what is the temperature today in Gurgaon, it won't be able to answer that because it's not in its training set. But what it can do is it can use a define function like a simple Python function, and it can call that tool. It can call that tool, and from that tool it can get that value, and based on the value it can again make an LLM call and give a final response. So guys, this is how you need to use it in terms of GPT OSS. That the first thing is, I'll be explaining you guys, the first thing is the question whatever user is asking, then that goes to an LLM, that's GPT OSS. It's gonna give a tool call response. Then this tool call response needs to be passed again into the LLM, and then it's gonna alongside this question plus this tool call response, it's going to give you the final response. So yes guys, usually nowadays a lot of API providers do the Python modules wrap everything up, but since this is an open source model, so you need to take an extra effort and make two API calls. So that's probably the reason that the code chunk is also a little big, but guys, it's extremely simple. Let's just try to go through it once. So let's just try to go through this snippet of code guys. What we are doing is same guys, we are trying to connect to Ollama, then we are trying to define the tool. So we are defining that this tool is gonna help, the name of the function is get weather. It's gonna help me get weather in any Indian city, and these are the set of Indian cities it's have, and yeah, this is pretty much simple. Then guys, the user is like, what is the weather like in Bangalore? Simple guys, clean code guys, it's just tool. We are saying that tools is equal to tools. We are saying this like it's a list with like a dictionary like format, and we are saying tool choose is equal to auto. That means the model can itself decide that whether it needs to call the tool or not. Then guys, we are extracting the message, and guys, we are seeing that if message has this parameter tool calls, then guys, once more we need to pass the ID of that tool call again into the chat completions create response, so that we can get our final response. So guys, yes, this is little tricky, but once you will inspect the code neatly, you will be able to see it. So guys, those were the primarily things that you need to know strictly from GPT OSS way. Let's just try to align and end the lecture. So guys, in short guys, it's a open weights model. That means not necessarily the training code, the training data set is publicly available, but more like the weights of the model are available. You can guys fine tune this model. So guys, you can fine tune this model via Hugging Face Unsloth. Then guys, the next thing that you need to know is that it's a reasoning model guys, so please use it a little wisely. That means just make sure that the model is used for the right causes, right? Let's say you want to build an application where you want the model to do tool calling, you want to do a problem that involves physics or involve coding, and you need to design such systems in a way that everything is containerized and you own the assets. And yes guys, it's Apache 2.0 license, so you can use it directly in your application without worrying too much about the licensing disparity. So on that note, I would like to end guys, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel. It would help me create more and more content for you guys. Thank you guys.